Hi everyone, this is Nafish. In today's lecture, we're going to go over some of the data structures in Python. So basically, we're going to go over list, tuple, set, and dictionary, and we're going to know how we're going to define all these data structures, and what are the differences among them. Okay, so let's get started. First, let's start with list. So to define a list, we have to have square bracket. Okay, so since we have nothing here right now, it's going to be an empty list, but we can put some numbers. Let's say 10, 20, 30, and then a boolean, which is true. And then I can have a character like a name. Okay. So a list can comprise with numbers, booleans, and string or characters, right? And we have assigned that to a variable called L. So let's run it and let's see the type of this variable L, okay, which is a list, and what is the length of this variable L. So it is 5, okay? So we have 5 elements inside this list, okay? So to define a tuple, we are going to do the same thing, copying the same elements, changing the name of the variable to t, and we have to have rounded bracket or a parenthesis for tuple. Okay, so this is how we define a tuple. And to define a set, let's say we have a variable s, and inside that, and we are going to have a curly brace. Okay, so curly bracket for set, and we are going to keep the same elements inside this variable. Okay, so let's save this. Okay, and let's run this and let's find the type of t, which is the tuple, right? So it's the tuple, and type of s, which is a set. It's a set. Okay, now we can also visualize this. Let's say t is this guy, and s, the set, is this one. Okay, so this is how we can define the list, tuple, and set. Now, obviously, there are some differences, right, in these data structures. I'm going to cover dictionary at the very end, but let's find out the differences. Okay, so let's say we have to import this, and then um, we are going to find the memory occupied by all these variables L, T, and S, which is list, tuple, and set. So you will see the memory consumption will be different in these variables. Okay, so for sys, then sys dot get size of L. Okay, and we're going to paint it. So all these data structures containing the same elements, but the size will be different. Okay, the size of L is 104 bytes here. Okay, now we can do the same for tuple and set. So let's say for tuple T and set S, what is the size? I think it's a gap. So is okay. So the tuple is having 80 bytes and then 472 for set. So basically, you can see the consumption, memory consumption is way less in tuple, right? And there are other differences as well. Like you can change the list, but you cannot change the tuple. So tuples are kind of immutable. Okay, so I'm just going to show you that. So we have the list L, right? So I can add an element here. So let's say L dot append. Let's say we're going to append a character. Say what? Okay, and then we're going to display the list. Okay, so you see, I can append a new character or element inside this list. Okay, because they have like the memory is it is not like it's a default memory. Okay, but for tuple, once you define the tuple, the memory consumption is already allocated. It cannot be extended. Okay, so you see there is no error. But if I have, let's say, if I'm going to add this one to the tuple t, this is going to throw an error. Okay, run it, and you see you cannot add it. Okay, but I think I can add element to a set. So let's say, and that's kind of different. So s dot add, then I'm going to add this character one. Okay, and then going to visualize the output. Okay, you see, it's curly braces, so it's a set, and you can modify the set, right? Okay, so let's have more cells. So this is the number second difference. Okay, you can change the list and set, but you cannot change the tuple, okay, or you cannot modify the tuple. And the first difference was the memory consumption, right? Now there is other thing, where set is kind of differs from the others. So I'm just going to show you there. So we had the set s, right here. So let's say I'm going to add a new element. So let's say add new element, which is what, but the set already contains that, right, this one. So it's not going to have it. So basically sets are values of unique elements. Okay, so you see I have added what twice, but it's showing only once. I can show you again, like yes, let's say I have 10 numbers. So 10, 10, 10, 10. Let's say 5. Too much writing, right? And let's say I'm just going to display this set as. It's going to output only 110 because always going to, sets are always going to um, um, have the unique element. Okay, so you see the output is S. However, this is not the case for list or tuple. I'm just going to show you that's a copying that same thing and just going to paste it here with a list L. Okay, and it's going to have the same output. Okay, so it's not going to provide the unique number, you see. So this is how set is kind of different than list and tuple as well. Now the other difference I can say, the ordering. Okay, so let's say I have a set 2 and 1. Okay, and then the other set where I'm going to compare it also going to have element 2 and 1. So there are two sets. On the left I have the element 2 and 1, and the right side I have element 2 and 1, and they are in order, right? So this is equal in case of set. But if I change the order, let's say 1 and 2, this is going to be false. Okay, so you see, like sets always follow the order, but sorry, list always follow the order. Okay, but set, if I have a set, okay, where the elements are unique, they do not need to follow the order. Okay, so you see here, so I have on the left side 1 and 2, and the right side 2 and 1. They are all unique, right? So this is going to be true. It doesn't matter the ordering. Okay, so order doesn't matter in case of set, but for tuple and for list, say, the ordering matters. So I'm just going to do the same thing with tuple. You see, I have 1 and 2, but if I'm trying to compare with 2 and 1, this is going to be false. You see, for tuple, this is false, but for set, this is true. So what we can conclude here, ordering is maintained in tuple and list, but in the case of set, it's just the unique values. Okay, so I can say this is how they differ. Okay, now the lastly, we need to talk about the dictionary. How can we define the dictionary? Okay, so let's say I have a variable d and we're going to assign a dictionary to it. So in dictionary we have keys. So let's say name, I have a key called name. Okay, and then inside this key the value is um, John. Okay, and then I have some more elements inside the dictionary. Let's say age, this is another key, and age is, let's say, 20. Okay, this is the value. So left side is the key and right side is the value. Okay, and then say I have gender, and this is like male. Okay, so the value is this guy. So this is how we need to define a dictionary. So we will have curly braces, okay, at the start and the end, and inside that we gotta have some keys. So this is key, this is key, this is key, and the right side are the values. Okay, so let's run it and let's visualize the dictionary D or the variable. Okay, so this is how it's going to output. Now let's say I wanna get the value of the key name. So the way I have to call it is with the square bracket. Okay, so D name. So so first the variable, and then we gotta have the key, which is name, right? And then if I have this, then this is going to output the output is John. Okay, so this is how this is going to output. Now I can do like the same thing, like here I have the dictionary variable t, and I can call the age. Okay, and this is going to output 20 because the key is age, and the value is 20. So you call the key and it's going to give you the output, which is 20. Now you can add more things to the dictionary. Let's say I'm going to update this, right? So let's say I have a new key called let's say height. Okay, and I'm going to assign the height, let's say 6 feet. Okay, so let's run it and visualize the dictionary. You see the height is added, so we can add more parameters to a dictionary, or in other sense we can modify the dictionary. But how about like uh, the values need to be whether it's unique or not? The answer is no. The values are always unique in case of dictionary. Okay, so if I'm going to add this height again here, okay, this is not going to do any difference. You see, because this height is already there, right? So all these keys and the keys needs to be unique in case of dictionary.